Okay, and we will start from that side. Those of you who need assistance, you have to be on this side. Now, entertainment from the next presentation comes from Centennial Secondary School. And they're going to come up.
Are you ready to go? Okay, all right. Already.
He is one of a kind, isn't he? What's Max doing on stage?
Okay, so hello. Hi, we're from Centennial Secondary School. We are the Drama Club. We are students from grades 11 and 12 and some grade 9 and 10s. We will be doing a children's theater piece called The Great Christmas Pie Escape. It's really fun and quirky and yeah, so we'll start doing that now.
Well, thank you. I say Centennial Secondary School with a special pride, you know, because it's my alma mater. I used to work in there. So I'm very pleased to welcome them. And 1, and 2, and 3, and we start.
One morning in December, a sweet little grandmother decided it was time to make a Christmas pie.
The children and grandchildren are coming to my house for Christmas this year, and I want to serve some special Christmas pie to each and every one of them.
This was a good idea, but the little grandmother had one big problem.
None of them like the same kind of pie.
And she was right about that. Some of the children and grandchildren like
Apple pie.
But others seemed to favor
Blueberry pie.
Then there were a few who liked
Cherry pie.
And for myself, I think the only pie worth eating at Christmas time is
Raisin pie.
Well, that settles it. I better get busy. I've got to prepare 4 different kinds of pie in time for Christmas dinner.
So the little grandmother hurried out to the kitchen to make pie crust for 4 Christmas pies.
When the pie crusts were done, the little grandmother began making the filling for the first time. Using her cutting board, she sliced apples into neat little slices. She mixed the slices with sugar,
she sprinkled them with cinnamon.
and I dotted the slices with butter.
She quickly poured the apple pie filling into a pie crust, covered the filling with another crust, and sealed the edges.
Then she used her slicing knife and carved a large letter C into the tip top of the pie. The letter C stands for Christmas, of course.
And the little grandmother sat down and waited for her oven to bake. Little did she know that the apple slices inside of that Christmas pie were planning a daring escape.
They didn't expect to be eaten by someone's silly little grandchildren.
the apple slice is called quick music.
Attention apples, front and center. Rookie, do you want dine in loving tonight? Sir, no, sir. What about you, Private? Do you want dine in loving tonight? Private,
Sorry, sir, I wasn't listening, sir!
do you want dine in loving tonight?
No, Colonel!
Do I look like a cob of cards to you?
No, sir!
Well, then let's get to business.
The apple slices joined together and began to chant.
Apple slices, hear our cry.
Apple slices, hear our cry.
Run, escape this Christmas pie.
Run, escape this Christmas pie.
Sound up.
Sound up.
1, 2,
1, 2,
3, 4.
3, 4.
And it wasn't too long before the apple slices found the letter C opening at the tip top of the pie and cried, "We were free!"
They jumped upon the cutting board, experienced and yelled roared. The little grandmother was not happy. She eyed the apple slices sternly and said, "Stop right there. Forget this treason. Don't mess up my holiday season." But by the time she had finished speaking, all of the apple slices had disappeared.
The kitchen was empty. There wasn't an apple slice in sight.
The little grandmother sighed. 1 down and 3 to go. There are other kinds of pie, you know.
She turned her back on the empty kitchen and quickly prepared some blueberry pie filling.
Then she poured the pie filling into the pie crust, covered the filling with another crust, and sealed the edges. Then she took her slicing knife and cut a large letter C into the tip top of the pie. The letter C stands for Christmas, of course.
but I don't want to have a blue Christmas, if you know what I mean, So I think we should get a blue suede shoes on and rock our way out of here. What do you think?
The bluebirds joined together and began to dance.
Berries blue.
Berries blue.
It's time to fly.
It's time to fly.
Let's run escape.
Let's run escape.
This Christmas pie.
This Christmas pie. And it wasn't too long before the blueberries found the letter C opening on the tip top of the pie, and they cried,
We were free! They jumped upon the cutting board. They screamed, shouted, yelled, and roared. Some bounced down the kitchen floor and rocked out of that kitchen door. The little grandmother couldn't believe this was happening again. She placed her hands firmly upon her hips and cried, No more rocking, no more rolling. You blueberries need controlling. But by the time she finished speaking, all of the blueberries had disappeared.
The kitchen was empty. There wasn't a blueberry in sight.
The little grandmother sighed. 2 down and 2 to go. There are other kinds of pie, you know.
She turned her back on the empty kitchen and quickly prepared some cherry pie filling.
Then she poured the filling into a pie crust, covered the filling with another crust, and sealed the edges. Then she took her slicing knife and carved a large letter C into the tip top of the pie. The letter C stands for Christmas, of course. But inside the pie, I guess.
F-R-E-E! Get this pie crust off of me!
Then all the cherries joined together and began to chant,
Bouncing cherries, bounce a pie! Let's escape this Christmas pie!
and it wasn't too long for the cherries found the letter C in the tip top of the pie and cried, We were free! They jumped upon the cutting board. They screamed and shouted, yelled and roared. And bounced on the kitchen floor and rocked right out that kitchen door.
Some sighed, we finally got our wish. Some bounced into the doggy's dish.
Now, the sweet little grandmother was quickly leaving her kitchen. She got down on her hands and knees and tried to scoop up the bouncing chair. Oh dear, I'm just too old to count, and a bit too slow for a cherry bounce.
But by the time she had finished speaking, all of the cherries had disappeared.
The kitchen was empty. There wasn't a cherry in sight.
The little grandmother was getting angry. She shouted, 3 down and 1 to go. There are other kinds of pie, you know.
She turned her back on the empty kitchen and quickly prepared some raisin pie filling.
She poured the raisin filling into a pie crust, covered the top with another crust, and sealed the edges.
Then she took her slicing knife and cut a large letter C into the tip-top pie. The letter C stands for Christmas, of course. But as most of you already know, you can never trust a raisin. And these raisins had actually escaped them long before the Christmas pie. The raisins immediately began to chant,
Shriveled raisins, brown and dry, let's escape this Christmas pie.
The raisins formed a conga line and quickly danced their way the letter C opening to the top of the pie. 1, 2, 3, 4!
Conga, conga, conga. Conga, conga, conga. Conga, conga, conga. Conga, conga, conga. Conga, conga, conga.
They rolled upon the cutting board and screamed and shouted, yelled and roared.
Some bounced down to the kitchen floor and rocked right through the kitchen door.
Some sighed, we finally got her wish. Some bounced into the doggy's dish.
Some congaed out beyond the brink, some danced around the kitchen sink.
And when the cake started to use the raisin had all disappeared.
The sweet little grandmother searched for those pie fillings, but there wasn't.
An apple slice, a blueberry, a cherry, or a raisin, to be found anywhere.
And when Christmas Day arrived and the little grandmother's sweet little grandchildren and children were all ready for some holiday desserts, they each found a fork.
Each found a fork,
And found a plate.
and found a plate.
Then
Each of them
sat down to take
sat down to take
A fresh baked slice of simply right.
Ooey gooey!
chocolate cake.
Oh well, who needs pie anyways?
Happy holidays to all. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
The Drama Club from Centennial Secondary School. Thank you. I think it's time after